after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I appreciate
think
that.
all
My
of our,
clock is
I'll
ticking,
answer
and I
your
want to
question.
hear
All of our
your answer.
hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence,
someone
yes or
would.
no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have the
I
evidence, yes
traveled,
or no?
Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay. You're not answering my question.
The battle lines for the nation's top law enforcement job were just violently drawn on the Senate floor. When a nominee for Attorney General openly tells a sitting U.S. Senator that she isn't there to do his homework, any illusion of a standard, polite confirmation hearing completely vanishes. Senator Alex Padilla just launched a blistering, multi-layered cross-examination designed to break Pam Bondi on constitutional law and past election claims. And the fiery counterpunch caught the entire committee completely off guard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I begin, I just want to remind us all for the record that the 34 convictions, not indictments, convictions of former President, incoming President Trump were by a jury of his peers. Thank you, Ms. Bondi, for being here today, and I too would like to welcome your family and friends who are here.
Thank you.
Appreciated the opportunity to meet yesterday to learn about your priorities and discuss a number of issues that are important to me. But I got to tell you, as I reflected on our conversation yesterday and as I've observed the hearing today, I continue to have significant reservations on your ability to function as a truly independent Attorney General for your friend. Let's say you keep referring to him, your friend, President-elect Trump. So I hope you can address some of these concerns through your responses to my questions here. Now, the first issue area is something that we didn't get a chance to touch on yesterday. So I actually want to follow up on some of Senator Durbin's questions from earlier about the 2020 election. And to be specific, on the day after the 2020 presidential general election, you traveled to Philadelphia to appear alongside President Trump's then attorney, Rudy Giuliani. And together, you falsely asserted that President Trump had, quote, won Pennsylvania in that election. And I want to be clear, at that moment, there were still at least 1 million ballots left to be counted in Pennsylvania. Of course, President Biden went on to win the state by more than 80,000 votes. But in the following days, even after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I appreciate
think
that.
all
My
of our,
clock is
I'll
ticking,
answer
and I
your
want to
question.
hear
All of our
your answer.
hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence,
someone
yes or
would.
no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have the evidence,
I
yes
traveled,
or no?
Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay. You're not answering my question. If you have no evidence to offer, let me ask you this. Will you now retract your previous statements that Trump won Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, yes or no?
Oh, Senator, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what I saw firsthand.
Yes or no?
I didn't talk about California because I was not in California. I talked about...
Yes or no? Last time I'm going to ask.
I talked about Pennsylvania because I
Mr.
was
Chair,
there.
I'm going to move on because she's clearly not answering my questions. And I want to know, colleagues, for everybody, members of the committee and everybody watching, that the attorney who stood beside Mr. Giuliani was making very similar statements. And he has since been disbarred from multiple jurisdictions for making these false claims about the 2020 election in court. And like Mr. Giuliani, as you've noted today, you've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution just as an attorney. And now you're asking us to consider you to serve as the chief law enforcement officer in our country. So it's imperative, Ms. Bondi, that you subscribe to facts and evidence and not politically convenient conspiracy theories. Your job will be, your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You cut me off when I was speaking. When I ask you the next question, you can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well, I'd like to answer the previous one,
Senator.
When we met yesterday,
you pointed your finger at me and said you were speaking.
You did not seem to be familiar
let me answer my question. I'm not going to be bullied by you, Senator
the 14th Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you didn't want to hear my answer about
today after I gave an opportunity to study overnight. So can you tell me and this committee what the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as Attorney General...
You're the one asking for a confirmation vote, ma'am.
Hey, you cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
So on the 14th Amendment, now you've testified repeatedly to this committee that you will uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do you believe birthright citizenship is the law of the land, and will you defend it regardless of a child born in the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status?
Senator, I will study birthright citizenship. I would love to meet with you regarding birthright citizenship. Can I answer the question?
Serve as the Attorney General of the United States, and you still need to study the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? That is not helping me have more confidence in your ability to do this job. One other immigration-related question, and I'll steer clear of the Constitution
I have one
and the
regarding
law.
that I'd like
Senator
to talk about.
Hirona asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered her question. Can you please tell us, do you agree with the statement that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, yes or no?
I did not say that.
I did not say that you said that. I'm asking if you agree with it, yes or no.
I did not say that.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
My great-grandparents are immigrants.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
They came here from Sicily
Do you agree
through
with it,
Ellis
yes or
Island
no?
when they were teenagers.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
Senator, let me answer the question.
Yes or no? It's
My
real simple.
great-grandparents came here, immigrated to this country from Sicily, recently went and found each of their birth certificates. We are a nation made up of immigrants. Do I believe immigrants are poisoning our country? No, Senator.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I can't wait for the second round.
Same, Senator. Thank you. No, sir. Thank you.
What unfolded in this committee room was a textbook example of an institutional collision. Senator Alex Padilla entered this hearing with a clear, systematic objective: expose what Democrats view as a fundamental conflict of interest regarding the nominee's independence and commitment to constitutional norms. Padilla immediately led with a high-pressure trap, forcing Bondi's past rhetoric on the 2020 Pennsylvania election results directly into the record. By drawing on his own background as California's former Secretary of State, Padilla attempted to force a strict, yes or no, retraction regarding her appearances alongside Rudy Giuliani. Rather than allowing herself to be boxed into a corner, Bondi executed a tactical stall, acknowledging her presence in Pennsylvania while steering completely clear of a binary trap, forcing Padilla to abruptly cut her off and pivot to constitutional law. But the real flashpoint of this confrontation ignited over the text of the 14th Amendment. When Padilla tried to quiz the nominee on the exact phrasing of the Citizenship Clause, Bondi utterly rejected the premise of the examination. By telling the senator that she was not there to take a homework assignment, Bondi drew a hard line against what she framed as partisan performance art. She immediately anchored her defense in her executive experience as a former state prosecutor and state attorney general, signaling that she would not be treated like a student in front of the cameras. When Padilla pushed further, asking if she would defend birthright citizenship regardless of parental legal status, Bondi maintained a deliberate, calculating posture, insisting on a thorough, legal review of the policy rather than making off-the-cuff commitments before the vote. The emotional and strategic peak of the exchange arrived when Padilla confronted her with controversial rhetoric regarding immigration. Padilla demanded to know if she agreed with statements that immigrants are poisoning the blood of the country. Bondi aggressively seized the moment to completely flip the narrative, utilizing a powerful storytelling pivot. By invoking her own family's history, detailing how her great-grandparents immigrated from Sicily through Ellis Island, she grounded her response in personal heritage. Her final, definitive declaration that "we are a nation made up of immigrants" effectively neutralized the trap, closing out a high-stakes round that proved this confirmation process will be an absolute street fight over the future of the Justice Department. This fierce Capitol Hill showdown lays bare a deep ideological divide over the role of the chief law enforcement officer. Should a nominee participate in line-by-line constitutional quizzing by committee members, or is a background as a state attorney general proof enough of qualifications? Did Pam Bondi's fierce pushback demonstrate the strength needed to lead the DOJ, or did it evade critical answers? Drop your perspective in the comments below. I want to see how you read this interaction. If you want more raw, unfiltered breakdowns that cut straight through the political theater to show the actual strategies at play, hit that like button to blow past the platform algorithms. Don't forget to subscribe and switch on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive from the front lines of Congress. Thanks for watching.